All right. Hello, Daniel and Daniel.
Hello.
Whoa.
Danielle and Daniel.
Where'd you come from?
What's up?
Yo.
These are my friends. This is my homie Dan. He's on his phone right now. I think he's doing his taxes.
Yeah, I'm doing my taxes right now real quick because that's what we're going to talk about whenever my segment comes up. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, stay tuned for that. Taxes.
Yeah.
It's going to be a riveting episode.
I already stopped paying attention to you.
Dude, it's been 3 seconds.
Go back.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try to focus.
Okay, thanks, homie. We've got my girlfriend on this episode.
Hi, guys.
Yeah, I think I've hinted towards having a girlfriend
That's crazy.
before, and now she's on the podcast. Say hi, Danielle.
Hi, how are we doing?
We're good. How are you?
Doing great. Happy to be here.
Heck yeah. Happy to have you here.
So I'm going to refer to, so her name is also Danielle. So I'm going to
Just like me.
Daniel. So there's, is it like, so the female is Danielle and male is Daniel.
Yes.
Well, usually.
So if I was saying, I'm hanging
Unless
out with
we're in
Daniel and
France.
Danielle.
Or Quebec.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we're just both Danielle.
Yeah.
So like, I'm just hanging out with my homies, Danielle and my girlfriend, Danielle.
Sure.
Danielle.
Sure.
So yeah.
Just like if you had like a dude friend whose name was Sandy and your girlfriend was also named Sandy.
I've never met a dude named Sandy.
I have.
My mom's name
I've
is
met
Sandy,
two.
though.
Your mom's name's Sandy.
My mom's name is Sandy, yeah.
Oh, the name
damn.
game. Yeah. Banna.
I actually know a guy. I know a family. I played baseball with a kid who both of his parents were named Sandy. That's why I bring this up.
Sandy and Sandy, that's
I'm not
hilarious.
kidding.
Both his
True.
kids were named Sandy?
No, Jesus Christ. No. Well, I mean, it's a name for both. It would work as well. No, it's the husband and wife were both, like the parents were both named Sandy.
And they're just like, well, we got to make this work because that's just too
true.
funny. Yeah.
I guarantee it started there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like not exactly the same, but I have a great uncle whose name is Pierre.
Like,
Like his first name is Pierre and his last name is Pierre.
oh,
And then my grandma's name is Pierre.
Pierre.
I mean,
I don't know why they were so into
I guess some people, it's funny how like people are just different. Some people will be like, I would never do that for obvious reasons because it's the same name. So it would be weird to do that. And other people are like, I'm going to do that because that's the same name. And it's unique. It's cool. That's the whole thing to it, is that it's the same name.
Banna, Pierre.
Maybe there's more of is there more of a story than that? Or do you know why?
No, I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm not
Just
that
French
close
as
with
hell.
that side of the family,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's just a
I can see why.
funny
They seem
thing to
like
talk
weirdos.
about.
Weirdos that can't come up with an original name. So Danielle's in the house today. It's my girlfriend. We have a friend. That's awesome. It's more than a friend. So I have my love interest and I have my girlfriend. Wait.
Nice. You guys are friends too?
Wait, oh God. Wait. What did I just say?
I don't know. We'll
said
find out
your
later.
love
I'm
interest
sure
in
you'll
your
have to like
girlfriend.
unscramble that in the editing process
Yeah,
somehow.
I get it. It's fine.
Oh God, I just called Dan my love interest.
Yeah, well, I thought I was just the friend.
Yeah,
Wait a sec.
baby. Yeah.
And you're like, we have my girlfriend here, and then we have a friend. I'm like, oh great, now I'm just the friend.
And a love interest. So I spit out a lot of things. So pick one. You can
Holy moly.
determine
It's
that
okay. It's
audience.
2024. Everything's
Yeah.
I'm
acceptable
honored
now.
to be considered a love interest, though.
The lore deepens. Yes. All right.
Thought we were more than just an interest, but whatever. Seems like we've been going steady for a while now, D.
Feelings are getting hurt. I just gotta get real here.
Yeah, just start the tape over. Just flip that shit over.
Flip it. Yeah, side B. So I'm going to get into what we're going to talk about. So Dan's brought some stuff to the table, but
Yeah, we'll get to that.
What
What
got
going on?
this episode's going to be around the biggest franchises in the world. I kind of got like a tier list of biggest franchise media in the world. I'm going to get you to see what it is. And we're going to go Forbes. We're going to go business style on this one.
Okay, so biggest franchises. Okay.
Like media
terms of
franchises. Sorry?
Like in terms of revenue?
Yeah. In terms of the global revenue.
Media franchises.
Yes, exactly. I do actually have another list of like the biggest ones of all time, which is kind of obvious. I'm interested to see if you know what number one is, but we'll get there. The second thing I have is a list of huge collectible items because me and Danny have been collecting a lot of Pokemon cards lately. Again, we've been back into the Pokemon grind. So I've got just like the biggest collectible items and the price they're worth.
Like large Pokemon cards?
Yeah. Size, scale.
Okay.
Yeah, the scale of the card. Yeah, not the
Rare.
price. Yeah.
You like pull it out of the pack, like, oh, it's a huge one. Nice. I didn't notice.
I actually have a
folded up
huge
and,
one
like,
back
done.
there. Yeah, it's too big.
Actually is. Holy shit. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's worth a lot because
It's
it's
like a
big.
mouse pad.
Yeah,
Okay.
totally.
Sweet.
So yeah, we're gonna go over some of the biggest collectibles in the world, and then the third thing I have is trigger warning, true crime, because that's me and that's what I always bring to the table.
Oh, damn. Okay, well, I'll go after that because mine's also a bit of a It's trigger warning one also.
Cool. Yeah. It's like it's a Halloween story. It's already, to me, it's fall.
Yeah. We're in the
pretty
spooky,
much almost there.
spookiness now.
Yeah.
The end of summer.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
As soon as September hits, I'm like, boom, it's spooky season.
I mean,
boys.
to look outside right now, we're really lucky that it doesn't smell like smoke right now because it really looks smoky and the sun is doing that crazy golden red thing.
Yesterday it was worse. It definitely smelled smoke yesterday, but
smoked,
today it's been
It just means all the monsters are coming back.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that what
It's
happens in
spoopy
Zelda?
season.
Yeah.
I thought it was all the smoke from Ribfest.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Rib
smoke
Fest.
bones.
That's where you're going
Where's
after
CJ's
this.
ribs?
It's all I have on my mind, so I had to make a dumb joke about it. So I was just very
Rib
excited
Fest.
about it. I'm going to talk about Ribfest as much as I can during this.
You're gonna eat so much, dude. The first time I went to Ribfest, which is, I'm not trying to like discourage any of the Victorians that listen to this to not go to Ribfest, but I got sick.
Oh, did you really?
Food poisoning.
I
I'm
went
not
2
going
years
anymore
ago
now.
for the first time, and I thought it was great. They had a lot of selection. We just basically, we didn't even like really look at like who was like ranked number one or anything. We just like went to the coolest looking trailer. And
Yeah, I
picked
saw
up
a
few ribs.
group of like
Yeah.
Same. That's how I
So,
base it. Yeah.
yeah.
I saw
so
a
there was
group
a
of
few
like
friend of
really,
us.
really wimpy looking people getting sick, but other than that, I've just
Oh
mostly-
shit.
Yeah, there were some really cool people who were just
couldn't
having a
handle
good
it.
time.
I didn't eat enough bugs as a kid. Yeah.
Oh,
My
man.
immune system wasn't ready. Well, I don't know.
So many bugs.
But then I went back the second year and it was totally fine. So 50-50, take your shot.
Is that what the odds are?
That's the odds, man. 50-50.
I think half of all people get sick at Ribfest.
But it,
Half of all plates of ribs will make you sick.
yeah, and then I work.
Still do it, man. I'm still going.
Do it. I'm not gonna dissuade you not to.
I'll take those odds.
I worked with somebody that's going, and she's got VIP, which is 1 hour of as much as you can drink and eat for like $100,
That's
Yeehaw.
a pretty good
Ribs.
deal because it gets expensive to like buy food there.
or maybe it was $200. Maybe I think it's $200.
What?
Okay, that's not as good of a deal.
Yeah, VIP Rib Fest.
Apparently, my friend ate $100 worth of ribs. I'm like, I'm so glad I don't have to do that. I don't think I'm going to do that.
I mean,
I'm going to eat $40 or $50 of ribs probably. Though.
a rack is like $60.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
that.
it's super
You can
expensive.
easily like.
Yeah. So it's.
I don't care. I'm throwing down. I don't give a shit.
What I did with my friends like that couple years ago, I went is that everybody went to a different trailer and then we all like
good call.
pooled in like and then compared like all the ribs. So
There we
that
go.
ended up working out.
And then only 25% of you got sick.
Yeah,
Well, actually,
everybody
I don't think any
passed
of us
one
got
rib
sick,
around.
so I don't know what was up with you, but like,
I don't know. It was the next day, and I don't know if it was food poisoning or not. But
I was going to say, I think maybe
Did you
some
drink a
beverages
lot?
came in. You just
I didn't
ultra
drink.
hungover. Oh, no.
I didn't even drink. I just went, had some ribs, went home, had to work in the morning. Felt like shit. Yeah, but
Well, damn, dude. You just had the meat hangover.
anyways, I'm not trying to
meat
shit on
sweats.
the good
Yeah.
Victorian event that is Rib Fest, which I kind of am. But
Good Victorian event. Indeed.
all right,
Of which I will attend once this concludes.
yes, and you will pass the test of not getting a tummy.
I fucking hope so.
Okay, so any guesses? We're gonna go jump right into it after we say our tagline, which is.
These are my friends.
Now we've started. So number one media franchise in the world. What do you think it is, Dan? I know you know Danielle.
Media franchise?
Media. So it's we're going like
Like Disney?
yes. That's a good guess. So but yes, like that. But that's your guess?
Okay, well, obviously not now. It's something like that, so I wouldn't guess that.
Do
do you want a hint?
Universal or something?
So it's
Like the biggest brand, like so not necessarily like a corporation or like.
they've had
Biggest brand? Okay,
Ongoing.
maybe you need to give me an answer so I understand a little bit like what the category looks
It
like.
started in Japan.
Oh,
It's originally from Japan, I should
like
say.
Nintendo? No, wait, Nintendo's not that big.
That's in the right direction.
Sony?
it's more so
What are we saying?
not companies. It's like Power Rangers. Like something like that. Like it's not like
Like,
what is it Bandai that does Bandai does Power Rangers. It's not necessarily Bandai, it's like Power Rangers. So media conglomerate franchise.
Pokemon?
Artillery too. And what else? Pika Pika.
Oh yeah, a Zoomeril.
Nailed it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Pokemon's number one.
Okay, I got you now. I
100
see what you're
billion.
saying.
100 billion.
100 bills
Yeah.
on the industry.
Yeah, and it's
damn.
mainly from their licensed merchandise.
So it is Nintendo then.
Game Freak,
well, you were
yeah,
in the right,
Nintendo,
that's why I said you were in the right direction.
yeah.
Gang Freak,
Word.
Creature, yeah. So,
Right, they all eat off of that for sure.
But then it's like Wizards of the Coast, which is the cards.
Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah,
Bless
yeah.
those people.
Bless those people and those beautiful, beautiful minds. And
Those nerds.
yeah, those fucking nerds.
Hell yeah.
They're the best. And then there's like the games, obviously, and then even the box office movies pulled them in 6.13 billion, which is insane.
I bet. Yeah, the games alone would be just enormous. But yeah,
I guess there's a lot of VHS. I had a bunch of VHS of the original Pokemon.
Yeah.
Oh, the VHS,
Anime?
like yeah.
The old anime. Yeah,
Yeah,
totally,
I know a lot of kids watch that like way back
hell
when.
yeah. My younger
They're
sister
still
did.
making more. They just retired Ash like last year or whatever. There's like
He's like, guys, stop now. I've been collecting them all for too long.
He's like no longer the main guy. They have like a couple of new characters now. I haven't
He
watched
just
like any
can't
of the new.
catch them all. He realizes 'cause there's just too many. He's like,
just
fuck this.
Keep
I'm done.
creating- Yeah. And have you seen some of the new Pokemon, dude?
Hey kids, do you love Chimpokemon?
Yes.
Well now you can buy your very own. I've got to buy Chimpokemon. I've got to buy it. I've got to buy it. Now you can collect them all. Furry Cat, Donkey Tron, Penguin, Shoe, Lamtor. Collect them all and you can become Royal Crown Chimpoko Master.
Royal Crown Chimpoko Master, holy
Yeah, Stapler. I'm Stapler.
Shoe.
It's like, I know. Shoe. Which one will win?
Shoe or stapler? Yeah, totally. No, it's like literally there's like a keyring one. Who's that?
Klefki.
Klefki?
Oh my god.
It's like a gen like 6 or 5 or some shit. Like,
Wild.
And it's literally just a
There
keyring.
are some really wild ones. Yeah.
And Trubbish, which is
Trubbish is literally just like a little garbage
trash
bag.
can. Yeah.
sack
And then there's,
trash.
Like, Vanillite and Vanillish or whatever. They're like literally ice cream cones. Like, so.
There's like over 1,000 now?
Yeah, there's like, I want to say like 1,020 or 1,030 something. There's definitely over 1,000 now.
Goddamn.
If I was Ash, I would give up too. I'd be like,
Yeah.
fuck this
Nope.
shit. I'm going into dumpsters on Hastings and catching fucking
God.
bags of garbage.
That's why he stores all his fucking Pokeballs too, because he's like, how the hell do I carry around 1,000 Pokeballs?
What do I do?
I guess they all sit at the Poke Center,
Yeah, and
taking
just
up space.
Rot in Pokeballs.
They just rot in there. It's not good for them at all in there.
They expire. Pokeballs have expiry dates too, you know?
Jesus.
And then, okay, so what's the
A
second?
Charizard just explodes out of the counter because the Pokeball expired.
he's all fucking
It's
banged
free
and
now.
broken,
Yeah. A wild. Yeah.
Nurse Joy's like, oh my god.
Cool. Well,
Fucking Charizard, yeah. It's been 20 years. Yeah, I've been in that ball. So second, take a guess at what do you know? So I knew you knew the first one, Danielle. What's the second biggest franchise like that? It's like a media franchise, entertainment media is maybe a better way to put it.
Like, I want to say Mario, but I don't think that's right. And then otherwise I would
guess.
like go with
Good
Dan's
guess.
guess earlier, which is like Disney.
is that one? Is Disney like Star Wars or something?
Mickey Mouse and Friends, yeah.
Oh,
Mickey Mouse,
just straight up Mickey
specifically,
Mouse.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Mickey Mouse
Disney.
and Friends, yeah. 61 Billy
And beyond!
the Walt Disney Company, yep. So Mickey Mouse and Friends, they've been going since 1928. So like Pokemon's been going since 1996. Mickey Mouse has been going since 1928
And in that time, like Pokemon surpassed them by like, what did you say, 100 billion or something?
by like 40 bill. Yeah, yeah.
Wow. I didn't
Yeah.
realize it was like that much of a disparity.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of There's just so much. I mean, there's not Mickey Mouse trading cards, right? There's a
No,
lot
there
of
are,
merch.
actually.
Well, true. Actually, that is true. It's just not nearly the phenomenon that Pokemon would be, right?
No.
And like, I don't know, back in 1928, what is it, Steamship Willie or whatever
Yeah,
the fuck
Steamboat
the first
Willie.
Steamboat Willie. Yeah, it's like we're gonna sell this for one croppenny or whatever, one strawpenny. We're gonna. It's like what the fuck? Like no, it's like you're gonna go to the motion picture, pay a nickel, and you're like yes.
Yeah.
And that's like fuck. Okay, 20 million more of these nickels, and I'll beat Pokemon in 40 years. Or I can't do math.
Yeah, I guess like have they like done the difference in like inflation like for that value of
I
the
doubt it.
61 or whatever you're saying?
I doubt it, but I mean there was like little creepy dolls back in the day too, probably like little Steamboat Willies.
Creepy little Steamboat
Probably.
Willies. There still are, for sure. Definitely. I don't know why they're creepy. They're just black and white.
Have you not seen a
dolls.
doll from like the 20s? They're fucked.
They're creepy.
Yeah, but Steamboat Willie wouldn't look. I guess he kind of looks like.
I mean, I'm gonna look one. I don't actually have a picture here, but I think they're gonna look a little weird. But that's just me being biased. Number 3 is weird. This one actually.
Try to be bipartisan, okay?
I'll be bipartisan.
Your bias is corrupting our podcast. Your opinions are not welcome here.
I am taking down the Disney company one podcast at a time. And fuck you, Mickey. No, I love you, Mickey. Woohoo!
The Disney helicopters descend upon us like. Yeah,
See, we know the words. We're good with you.
shooting a EMP at our house. Yeah,
Fuck this podcast.
Disney EMP.
So number 3 you're not gonna get, but it's been going since 1924, which I didn't realize it's been going this long. So I think they just stood the test of time.
Milton
I
Bradley.
feel like I might have
Mattel.
seen this when peeking at your planning for this podcast, but I want to say Hello Kitty.
Nope.
No, okay.
So I think this is also North American. So that was a different list I was looking at, but it had so much stuff on it that I didn't know what it was. But then I don't even know if this is just literally, and I was using Wikipedia too, the most trusted source in the world.
You wouldn't do that. I expect you to cite your sources in a bibliography at the end of every podcast.
The list that I'm currently using is from Wikipedia, but I did compare it to other websites.
Sure you did.
This was just, I did. I swear, I promise.
Yeah.
I was, Danielle, I was working all morning.
Yeah. All morning. I can attest to that.
Yeah.
I swear, man.
Yeah, he was ignoring me all morning.
That's
I'm
right.
kidding.
Yeah, of
Well, I
course.
pretty much was, yeah.
Slaving away.
I have number 3. So you said Hello
Go.
Kitty.
It's too much suspense. Too much
I
suspense.
feel like that's on the list at least.
It's Winnie the Pooh.
Hum-dum-dee-dum, hum-dum-dee-dum. I'm so rumbly in my tumbly. Ooh.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Timothy
Just
Robin.
a lot of.
I would not have expected that to be number 3.
Oh, yeah.
Christopher Robin. Come on.
Fuck.
Timothy Robin.
It's the Japanese equivalent. It's
A Timothy Robin.
Timothy Robin. Yeah.
It's a very
Because
Japanese
Timothy's
name.
such a Japanese name.
I don't fucking know.
A traditional.
Okay, I'm not going to bore y'all with this list for too much longer. I got 2 more. So number 4 is actually makes a lot of sense when you think about it. Nerd. Think nerdy.
Microsoft.
It's
Apple.
no. It's like man. I should have got a better categorized for it. It's still like think Pokemon, think Mario, think like it's
Things
like a
with characters,
franchise
like a
of
group.
characters and stuff.
Nerdy.
The biggest nerd thing that you could ever think of ever in the world.
I don't know. Star Trek.
Oh,
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Dude, biggest nerd thing. Star Wars is pretty
I feel
extreme.
like Star Wars is way bigger than Star Trek.
It's
at
way
this
bigger,
point.
but
It's
it's
Star
not
Wars.
it's not nerdier.
it's Star Wars.
Star Trek is definitely, I feel, nerdier.
Yeah.
Okay, I
That's
feel
what
you.
I'm saying.
I
You're like
get
the
you.
biggest,
Yeah,
most nerdiest thing ever. I'm like Trekkies, right? Like, come
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Totally. Okay, I feel you now. But no, Star Wars. Yeah.
First, I was thinking Lord of the Rings. I'm like, no, it's not big enough. And then like, oh yeah, Star Trek. Of course. Wait, he means Star Wars, which I already said earlier.
You did?
Before for a different answer.
Oh, right. Yeah. And then the last one you're not going to get because it's like I guess they're breaking it down to different categories of the same company. It's Disney
Craft.
Princesses.
Oh, what?
Oh, why is that considered
I know.
separate?
Disney princesses are massive.
Yeah. And then next
That's a
one,
lot. That's a large team.
45 billion. But I mean, there's so much.
Wow, a lot of merch.
Yeah, totally. And then Ann Pan Man. Do you know what that is, Danielle? Ann Pan Man. I think I've seen it. It's like an old. I think he's like got a red nose, white eyes. He looks familiar, but it's a super Japanese.
You'd have to show me later.
Yeah.
No.
Power bells are ringing, ding dong ding. What will we find in our adventures? Pan, pan, shoku pan, curry pan, jam and butter and cheese. Let's go now.
But that's right there under Disney Princesses. They've been going since 1973 with 38 billion. Then the next one is Harry Potter.
Oh, Harry.
Harry Potter.
Harry
Potter.
Then it's Barbie. Then it's Marvel. And then it's Call of
Okay.
Duty.
And then Call of Duty.
Yeah, then Call of Duty. So that's the top. Yeah.
So like
Sheesh.
Mario and like Luigi and all those, they haven't even made like the top 10 basically.
No,
is what you're saying?
Nintendo is not
That's
as big,
Shocking
yeah.
to me.
I think if this was a different list categorized by like company, they would be near the top.
Right.
They're one of the oldest too, right? They're like
Right. With,
Well, I mean-
1891 or whatever they were.
Oh yeah, I mean Nintendo itself has been around since the very late 1800s.
Yeah.
But like the first Mario game came out in like the 1980s.
Yeah, 87 or when was it?
what, the first Mario?
Yeah,
Yeah, I want to say like mid to late 80s.
Mid-80s, yeah. 86, 87, yeah. Maybe.
Something like
Something like that.
that.
I can't quite remember when the NES came out, but
Jamie, look that up.
We looked
We
it
had one
up.
of those guys.
Yeah, we could. Fuck. we Jub. We need to get Jub as Jamie.
Yeah, where's that guy?
Yeah, fucker. He's fucking slacking. He's making fish right now. Okay, cool.
He's making fish on Rib Fest Day.
Yeah, man.
He's making fish,
sacrilegious.
so he doesn't get sick.
Sacrilegious.
Oh, bro, dude, sacrilegious.
Why do you mock me, oh Lord?
Homer, that's not gone. That's just a waffle that Bart tossed up there.
I know I shouldn't eat thee, but sacrilegious.
Bro, that's such a good name for like Simon's cooking show.
Sacrilegious.
Like sacrilegious, bro. That is actually like incredible.
I can't take credit for that. That's
Oh.
fucking Simpsons.
Is it?
Yeah.
He would love it even more than if it was a Simpsons reference.
It is. It's like what Homer eats like a waiter.
That's incredible.
Or something, and he's like, sacrilegious. Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah, dude, that would be great for Simon's heavy metal cooking gig.
We gotta do
Are you
that
saying
again
like
one
a
day. We
wafer
still gotta do
like
that.
from
We still gotta do
church,
that.
like the bread in church?
Yeah,
So-
I can't remember what he's eating. What, Homer?
Yeah, like
I can't remember what he's eating. Something that was like something. I think it is
like I don't. I've been to church like twice in my life, but I know that like
the wafer and the
it's
blood
like a
of
little
Christ.
like the bread of Christ is like a little wafer now that they hand out.
Yeah, it's just his dandruff and egg. Yeah.
Just dandruff.
It's just Jesus dandruff
Sorry,
and egg.
Christians.
We gotta split the bread more evenly. So just to go back, Super Mario. It's, for some reason, it says 2D Origins. That's why it's like 1985 to 1995. I'm like, what happened? But it says 2D Origins. That's right. And so there's obviously other
'cause
ones
then
after.
I think
But-
in '96 they finally released Super Mario 64, which is
Totally.
the first 3D one.
3D. Yep.
It says Donkey Kong was 1981, so that's where Mario debuted. Of course, as the little jump man.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah,
Jumpman,
because he was
yeah.
Jumpman before he was
so
Mario.
that's 1981, and then at 85, it looks like the first Mario, Super Mario Bros. Or whatever. So my favorite was always 3, Super Mario Bros. 3 for
Yeah,
regular
it's a
Nintendo.
really good
I
one.
love
Like
it. Man.
I have 1, 2, and 3 at home.
Hell yeah. Have you ever beat 2?
No, I've played it. It's really hard.
I'm one of the only people. My friend Chris and I, like, who we had on the cast that one time. We played one time as only Luigi, and he has a flowy jump, and he has like
totally.
a slippery feet when you're on certain platforms. And we played as only Luigi, and if we beat a level, we had to take a drink of our like strong ass like whiskey Coke, and then if we died, we had to take a drink of our whiskey Coke, and we actually beat the whole game. I've never seen anybody beat that whole game before, but we beat it.
That's
So
That's
fun
crazy.
fact about that game, actually, this is just what I heard. So originally, Super Mario 2 was not even supposed to be a Mario game.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
I can't remember what company was making it initially, but it was meant to be another game, and then Nintendo
Called,
looked at it and they were like,
Doki
"This
Doki
is too-"
Panic.
Yeah, Doki Doki Panic.
Yeah.
And it wasn't initially supposed to be a Mario game, and then it was so similar to Mario 1 that they were like, "We're just gonna reskin this basically as a Mario game," and they
I
released
loved
it as
it.
a Mario game. So that's why it's like really different between Mario 1, 2, and 3. Mario 2 like stands out as being weird and has different characters.
That's
that,
where
like,
Shy Guys came from.
Like
and
Shy Guy was
Birdo's.
not initially supposed to be a
Whoa,
Mario
I didn't know any of
character.
this.
Yeah, and the mouse
Birdo.
boss guy.
And that's why like Birdo looks so different than how I'm gonna say she looks now. But like initially Birdo was like a male character, so he's like
Yeah, you had to jump up
canonically
and
trans.
stand on the eggs.
yeah.
Yeah, and like the eggs
And-
he would shoot out, you'd jump on them and then pick them
And
up
pick
and
them
like
up.
throw them back at him and shit. Yeah,
Doki Doki
super
Panic.
fun.
So was that still a thing? Or no,
No.
that's what they
think
were
so.
making, and
Yeah.
then they're like, "Fuck, this is basically Mario. We're just
So
gonna make this Mario
they
2."
literally
Sold them
just
the game.
reskinned it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. Fuck. Doki
Yeah.
Doki. Yeah.
Like you pick up potions in it. Like it's the only Mario where you like pick up a red potion and like get larger. And
I don't
stuff.
think I've
It's
ever
super
played it.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really weird game.
She has an $11,000 fucking game collection.
Oh
Like,
damn.
yeah, so
Like
lots of
old
retro,
Gamer.
NES, SNES,
Yeah.
N64, GameCube.
That's sick. I have a
Yeah, I've
bunch
got,
of
like,
those
lots of
too.
stuff.
God damn, we gotta have some game nights then. That's
Hell
sick.
yeah,
I love
totally.
Super Nintendo probably more than any of them. I'd say is my favorite
SNES.
system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have like one of those old bubble TVs, and the only reason I have it is because it's the only
Looks
kind
better.
of TV that the
Red, white, yellow, the or whatever.
what's the name for the gun?
Oh, like the Duck Hunt gun?
Yeah, so like they don't work on flat screen TVs. You have to have like a bubble screen,
Oh,
like
wow.
gold. So that
I
like
didn't know
I
that
bought I got one from a friend, like a bubble screen TV, like an old one. It's like probably only like 20 inches big, but like just so I can play like Duck Hunt and like there's a
That's
couple
sick.
other games that you can play.
That's fucking tight.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
I've
I
got
also
one
have
of
the SNES Super Scope. So that's like it's like early 90s now, but like
In box.
yeah,
Yeah.
I do actually have it in box.
We had the Super Scope at Arlene for a while.
Right.
There. I think it was maybe Brad's. I don't know where it is now, but
Fuck. I want to play some of this shit. Yeah. I just.
it's so sick.
Anytime,
dude.
anytime, we
Dude,
can.
F-Zero, Mario Kart, like old school Super Nintendo.
Hella.
What about like even old school Star Fox? But I want to play Star Fox
I
64
don't have
again.
any Star Fox, but it's like on my list of things that I want to add to my collection. I just like
64 Star
I'm
Fox
super
is
lame
so
in the
good.
sense that like I buy all these things and they sit on a shelf and I like never quote unquote have time to play them.
I
But
think
like
that's just collecting, but one day you'll have time.
But yeah, it's still rad as fuck. I'd rather have
Dude,
a
old
bunch of
school
old school
Zelda?
games.
yeah,
Old
and
school
then-
Zelda.
Yeah, and like
Super
the thing
Nintendo.
is like all that stuff I bought like I want to say like 2-3 years ago, and they're still like holding value or increasing in value. So it's like it's
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely.
They're cool collector's items. Like
Hella. Me and Jub fucking collected too for a little while. We had a Super Nintendo, a Sega, Genesis, original Nintendo, N64, and then we got a bunch of games. We got like weird
I
games.
have
We
all
got-
those.
We got the original Mario Kart, which is tight. We got Zombies Ate My Neighbors, which I remember talking to you.
Never
I have
played
that
it.
on
Dude, so good.
Sega Genesis, but I know it's
Yeah.
also out on SNES.
It's hard as fuck, but it's like $110 just to buy the cartridge.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, like it's fucked. Yeah, and then we just got these like weird games that were like, we want to play this, and it's like we could easily like emulate it, but we just no.
Oh, yeah.
We're buying a system. We're buying the fucking game. We're spending fucking a mint just to play this old school game.
Just to have it, yeah.
I'm
Well,
always
that's kind of like
surprised-
how I see it too.
I always forget to emulate games. I recently just put an emulator on my phone and put Super Mario RPG on there, and I've never played through it before. And it was such a good game.
RPG
It looks
is like
sick
it's
as
an
fuck.
expensive game too. It's hard to find,
Well-
but it's really good. They just
remade it for Switch.
Yeah.
Well, when you're like at work kind of thing, or if you're just like, doing something else and then like you need to kill time in between and you need to be able to put it down instantly with it paused. I mean, I guess all emulators pause immediately, so I shouldn't worry too much, but for whatever reason, just turn-based games like that just make me feel better about playing on a cell phone because it doesn't have to be very like direct on the precision of the controls and stuff. Like it doesn't matter if you miss the button click or whatever, you just are gonna
Like I don't know if you have a Switch, but like the new emulators on Switch, because they've released like NES, SNES, like Sega Genesis emulators on the Switch, and they do have like a pause function, and they have like a save function as well. So if you like are right before a boss and there's not an actual save in the game, you can just
save
like,
and then
save from the emulator and just
Those
like,
80s kids would be
which is,
rolling in their
like,
graves.
Of course, like cheating in a way, but like
I mean, I hope a lot of the 80s kids are still alive, but you know what I mean.
I mean,
we would hope so.
some of us are still here.
Yes, Dan. Yeah, of course. Yeah, right.
It's not. We're not long for this world, though. Let me tell you.
The 80s, that was like 100 years ago.
Yeah. We used to just eat lead.
And bugs.
It was
Yeah,
delicious.
that's why you can go to Ribfest.
Lead bugs.
Just like
Yeah,
sick.
it's a full circle. Yeah. I actually, so like, I didn't realize there was a Super Mario RPG for like the longest time until like they kind of like did the re-release for Switch, and then actually Game Grumps, which is Danielle's favorite thing, shout out, and you know
Nice.
Game Grumps, obviously.
Yeah.
They're fucking funny. I used to watch them a long time ago, but then I didn't, and then now she's in my life, and
I've
I watch
never
them
really
again.
watched it really ever myself, but my sister and her boyfriend are big fans, and I hear
Yeah.
a lot about it. So
I'm a huge fan. Like I've been watching
Nice.
them since like now it's Aaron and Dan, but like when it was John Tron and Aaron, like now 12 years ago when they
Yeah.
started, I was in high school still, and like I
OG,
loved
yeah.
watching them. And
nice.
OG Let's Play, but they're dope, and they were doing Super Mario RPG, and it looked fucking sick, dude.
It's
It looked
super
so
sick,
fun.
yeah.
It seriously, like, it's pretty sweet so far. I haven't
Yeah.
really given much time for it, but I was like, how have I not played this game? And there's a whole bunch of games I want to emulate like that. So
Yeah, super rad. Okay, well, that was that one. That was the end of the money segment. Franchise. Yay, hooray, we made it through. Okay, now we're going to go into some of the biggest collectibles that's ever been sold. So we're talking like, for this to count, it's like literally have been bought for this purchase price, not estimated value. It's like
It's like actually
some
sold
collector
for
paid
a
this
certain
much money
price.
for it. I only have a couple of them. What do you think
some of them are like auctions or something that ended up
it would
going
be
really high.
eBay auctions.
Yeah.
It's
Private
all amalgamated.
sales, whatever.
Drove the price up. Okay.
Or,
well.
I mean, if some dude's like Post Malone rich enough to go get something like this,
Like
I don't
the
know.
One
How
Ring.
about, like, a
Is that
Jordan
one of
rookie
the, is
card
that
or
one
something?
of the items?
that's what?
The One Ring.
That isn't. We've talked about that on a prior podcast, but
Right.
that isn't one of them. That's no, it's not chump change compared to this, but it's not.
Wow, really? Because I was gonna say, like, what did he pay for the One Ring?
It was like $2 million. I
Yeah,
think.
something like that.
Yeah, $2 million. So the number one
What about like a Batmobile or something?
card? No, no. But I do have.
Are you talking about cards, or is there like a?
No, it's collectibles. So I just got 3 that were like the biggest ones. So 2 are cards and 1's not a card. What do we think? What card do we think would be
like
the
a
number
Wayne
one?
Gretzky rookie, or like a fucking Michael Jordan rookie.
Obviously, like the base set 1 Charizard comes to mind, but I feel like it's still not over $1 million, or it could be. I have no clue. Like that's the one that immediately comes to mind for me, though.
I'll give you like just the sake of not stressing you out too much. Think old school, like old.
Like how old school?
Okay, like I don't know, like
You're saying it's a card. This first thing.
Yes. This first one that we're talking about. What's the number one? Like
a Mickey Mantle rookie
Yeah.
card.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Yeah.
Okay,
Mickey
there we
Mantle
go.
rookie card. Boom. 9.5. So
Holy moly!
9.5 mil?
no. Sorry. A CGC grading of a 9.5. The last
Oh,
one that
sorry.
was sold before that was a 9 that sold for $6 million. This one, 9.5, sold for $12.6 million.
Oof!
So that's the most expensive card ever sold.
Wow, 12.5 mil.
$12.5 million.
That's insane.
Ever. 9.5.
For
Yeah.
a piece of cardboard.
Yep, for a Mickey Mantle.
Mickey Mantle. Yeah, and it's fucked up.
Is it sad that I don't know who that is?
He's just a big baseballer.
Okay, I know nothing about baseball,
Yeah.
so.
He was New York? Yeah.
The Yankees guy.
Yankees, yeah. Okay, then I have, just for sake of keeping it into our realm, what's the number one Pokemon card that's ever sold?
Like a first edition base up Charizard or some shit. Oh, or was it like some weird art rare that like didn't? What's his face from YouTube?
Oh my god, yeah, you're basically getting there. I don't know if
It was
Dan
like
would have a hat
Pikachu
to toss
art
into this
something.
ring.
I could be wrong.
What did you say, Pikachu art?
Yeah, like a Pikachu something.
Oh.
I'm almost gonna give that to you. I've seen this card when I was a kid. Not in person, but like in old magazines that I'd buy. So there's like the illustrator card. So they had a contest. So it looks like an old Japanese trainer card. I don't know if you remember what the trainer cards look like.
I think I've seen this, but I'm not exactly sure like what it is.
It's like, I have a picture of it. I'll show you after. It's a podcast. Doesn't matter to the listeners. But it's an old, looks like a trainer card. But they gave it to somebody who illustrated. Like there was like an illustration contest. I can't remember exactly what it was, but whoever they wanted you to illustrate a card or something like that, and then whoever won the contest got this card. It's like literally like there was 3 given out ever, and Logan Paul bought a 9.
Okay, that's what I was saying.
It was
that
Logan
was
Paul.
YouTuber. It was like
He
I
bought
couldn't
a
remember
9 for $1 million,
Niche.
and then he traded that 9 to somebody who had the only 10 in existence for that one card that was worth $1 million and $4 million.
Oh, so he traded
worth-
a 9 for a 10 plus $4 million.
Plus $4 million on top. Like he's doing
Damn.
monopoly trading. So he did. So the grand total they say it's worth is $5,275,000.
Oof.
Insane.
Number one Pokemon
For
card.
a card.
That's crazy.
It's the 1998 Japanese promo illustration holo. Yeah.
Wow.
It's
Fucking
like
nuts.
there's a Pikachu on the illustration.
And there's a Pikachu on it with
and
like a
he's
pen.
like paintbrushes and stuff.
Paintbrushes, yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
okay, I think I know what you're referring to.
I might have
exactly.
seen
I know what you're
that
referring
now. Now that you're mentioning what it looks like, I think I've seen an image of that.
I've seen like maybe an image like once of it.
It's fucking nuts. It's just like $5 million. Like, I guess these YouTubers making bank, but that's like fucking like, that's gotta be like a
Logan
big
Paul
chunk of his money
especially, like-
for one card.
YouTubers, the actual commodity is attention, not money, right? So
Is that the one he like put in a chain
If you-
too and got like blinged out?
No, that was a first edition Charizard.
Oh, okay.
see, like if you can transform that money into like more than it's worth in attention and interest,
yeah,
and then
engagement.
you have like longevity and sustainability in your income for the future, right? So these guys are like, sure, it costs $1 million, but that's the cost of doing business. It's going to be way more than $1 million of promotion would have been, right?
Totally.
That's what
To
I'm wondering. Is like
promo.
how much revenue did he build off
fact that
just
we're
like
still talking about it.
advertising that he bought it and
That was in
like, we're
2022.
talking about it exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, so this is like his attention is still coming in on that investment from whatever he did way back. Plus, he got all that money back. It's just like, oh wow, and just by doing that move, people are like, look, this guy's a winner, and he gains more fans, and it's just like a snowball thing that happens.
Publicist.
Trippy.
Yeah, totally.
That's a successful YouTuber right there. Goddamn.
Doing it right. Yeah. As sad as it is to say,
We got to start buying some ridiculous shit and flipping it.
and just being like, yo, look what we got. And it's like,
Check it out. This plant is hella rare. We stole it from this person's house.
it's a one of one bonsai. Yeah. And it's a PSA 8 because I forgot to water
Here's
it.
an 8 bonsai.
Shit.
We'll get a 10.
We'll get it to a 10, yeah. Okay, and then the last one of this is, I mean, I think it's kind of obvious. You probably will know the number one comic ever sold.
Oh god, was it like
Ooh, I'm thinking like a Spider-Man or like a
Superman or a Batman
Oh,
or something?
good call.
Something
Yeah.
DC
The
or
OG
Marvel.
Superman, hey?
So I'm off that hint that you gave me. I don't know. He just pointed at me. So like DC, obviously like a
Superman
like a
makes
first
sense.
edition something.
It's not
I
called
don't know much
Superman,
about-
it's called Action Comics, because when they first came out, DC were called Action Comics and then Mystery Comics
Oh,
or
I didn't
whatever.
know
So
that,
it's the
yeah.
first ever print, the first edition, of Action Comics, which is Superman. And it was an 8.5 CGC, and it sold for $6 million. Number
Crazy.
one.
Heck.
Yeah, $6 million comic. Yeah, that's the number one comic.
Yeah,
Goddamn.
I don't know much about comics, but I know that they go for a pretty penny.
Yep.
And then just to round this all off, it's not going to be a guessing game because there's no way that you can possibly fucking know this. The number one, I just like the collectible route. Like, so you can collect anything, right? You can collect fucking what?
Paper
Stamps?
clips.
Paper clips, exactly. But the number one most sought after, or not sought after, but price
Valuable.
tag, valuable collectible item.
Just a quick aside.
Yeah.
Bert from Bert and Ernie on Sesame Street, he had a paperclip collection. But anyway,
Oh, cute. Reference. Yeah. I didn't know that.
it didn't come from nowhere in my brain.
That I would have said paperclip just because. Stapler. It's a 1933 St. Gaudens double eagle, which is a coin.
Oh.
It's a gold coin. It's a $20. It's the equivalent value of this coin is $20 USD. They printed them. Roosevelt got them
A $20 coin.
A $20 coin, and it's made of pure gold.
So in the day that it was minted, that would have been like as much as a house. Like you pay with this coin for like a fucking house.
I mean, you can maybe buy a car. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like you buy a shit ton of.
But like it was during the Great Depression. So the reason why they're so rare is that he printed
About 3 houses.
He minted a bunch of them, but then the Great Depression hit, and they thought that it was going to bounce it back, but it didn't. So they needed the gold back. So they didn't actually put this coin into circulation. And what they did was melt them all back down except for 20.
Dang.
But then 3 of them got snuck out of the mint, and then 1 of them is only legally allowed to be owned, and it's
Imagine nicking one of those. Like you just stole 3 of these minted. Like
apparently the FBI is still to this day
trying to find this treasure.
If you have any tips on anybody that owns one of these things, you have to turn them in, so they can't sell them. So it's legit. Yeah. But there's one that's allowed to be owned, and it's called
Can't sell them in America.
It's called the Wheatsman specimen, which I don't know why they call it that. It doesn't really specify why they call it that, but that one's legally allowed to be owned. So there's technically only 1 of these, and it's worth 18.9 mil. Ooh. So it's the number 1 most sought after. So there's stamps, there's all this other bullshit, but a coin. I even saw a fucking doubloon on that list.
Yeah.
For like 1776, worth like 6 mil.
We're not talking about a double loon like a tune here, like a toonie. We're talking about doubloons.
Doubloon, yeah.
Friggin' doubloons, bud.
Yeah, not a double loon. Yeah.
We should be calling those doubloons.
We should, yeah.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Have 2 loons on them, yeah.
Yep, I mean,
Or a toonie? Ah, yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Good God, man. Welcome.
I get you. Yeah. Wait a second. Yeah, it's not a loon. It's a double loon. Yeah. I get.
Yeah, we don't call them toonies. We call them doubloons.
Missed opportunity. Missed fucking opportunity.
Yeah, we fucked it up.
And then, I've got a couple other things here, but I think I've gone beyond what I want to go into this subject. There's a lot of expensive shit in the world.
You've gone too deep.
I've gone too deep down the rabbit hole.
FBI is now listening.
There was a domain, the number 1 sold domain for 50 mil.
Hello, FBI. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
We're talking about all the shit that you don't want us to know.
Virginia.
FBI based out of Virginia. Carinsurance.com sold for 50 million.
What? Car insurance?
.com.
Oh, .com.
Yeah. The domain, the most expensive domain name. Carinsurance.com.
It's like, what kind of car insurance is that?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know why that one's so fucked up, but
good Lord.
Anyways, okay, so that's what I had.
This is what people want to find. They're like, oh, people type in carinsurance.com, and like people who type that in are probably moronic enough to get scammed.
Yeah.
Or something like
I need to buy car insurance.
Sounds like
carinsurance.com.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
I type in the internet on Google and see where it takes me.
Fuck, I need to get to that World Wide Web. How do I get there? Yeah.
I can't find it.
Yeah, son of a bitch. Okay, cool. We're gonna go to our first sponsor. What's our first sponsor, Dan?
Lemon Lips, the lip balm that's entirely made out of lemon juice.
Gross.
Yeah,
Okay.
so if you have chapped and split lips, put on Lemon Lips. It's made out of purely just squeezed lemon juice.
And it'll chap your lips less.
Thank you, Lemon Lips.
It will chap your lips less. Thank you.
With a fresh lemony scent.
That's right.
Yeah.
Your lips will smell great.
And taste like detergent.
It's like if detergent was delicious lemoniness.
I know. I feel like I'm trying to tank this fucking sponsor.
I'd see that. I don't know why you don't like their money.
Fuck yeah, Lemon Lips.
I like
delicious.
Lemon Lips money.
Yeah,
Thank you. It tastes great.
It tastes great. Yeah.
My lips are certainly not burning.
It's a beautiful
product
full of vitamin D.
So you don't want to be
C.
It's got actually a lethal dosage. You don't want to actually swallow any if you can. There's a warning label.
Put it on your lips. All right, thank you, Lemon Lips.
Lemon Lips.
Lemon Lips. Chapstick. We get your lips right. Lemon Lips. Chapstick. It won't hurt. Lemon Lips. Chapstick. We get your lips right. Lemon lips. Chapstick. It won't hurt.
With a fresh lemony scent.
Lemon lips. Chapstick. We get your lips right. Lemon lips. Chapstick. It won't hurt. Come on. Try it. Put some lemon on you. Lemon lips. Chapstick.
And we're back.
And we're back. Check it out, dude.
Thank you,
Hey,
Lemon
what's up?
Lips. Yes.
Oh my God, that burns. Anyways.
Ooh, yeah. I used it as lube one time to no, never mind.
Christ.
It works. Yeah. Vitamin C.
Sitting awfully cross-legged that day.
Yeah. I just told everybody I had a wedgie.
Yikes.
Yeah, it was great. Okay, we're gonna go into our next segment. I'm gonna go Dan first. I think it's a trigger warning.
Yeah, it's a trigger warning.
So we're gonna go into a story.
I practice that a lot.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
The echo and
Okay, so we got. Have you ever heard of McKamey Manor? This was a fan
Haunted
submission.
house?
Yeah, it's like a haunted. Yeah, it's an extreme haunted house. This was like a fan submission. Someone sent me a thing.
Thanks, fan.
Yeah, thanks, fan.
I think, because I watch a lot of what do you call it? Ghost mystery shit, ghost hunters, and I think they explored that one time. But I don't remember because it was a long time ago.
McKamey Manor is an American haunted house attraction in which survival horror style events are enacted. It is considered a pioneer of extreme haunted attractions. Founded in San Diego by Russ McKamey, it was originally located on his property until it was relocated to Tennessee in 2017. A separate location was opened in Huntsville, Alabama the same year. The house operates year-round, offering visitors tours that can last up to 8 hours. To participate, guests must sign a liability waiver that includes explicit details of how the attendee may be subjected to various forms of physical and psychological torture. In its early years, guests were not permitted to leave the experience without the staff's permission, but since then, safe words have been implemented, granting the guest to leave at any time if they so wish.
But they don't work half the time.
Good God, they don't.
Yeah. So I know exactly. I just want to say I know what you're talking about. I was mixing like that up with a thing. So like, homie went to jail, didn't he?
I'm pretty sure in 2024 he just went to jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways, I'm going to let you continue.
Attempted murder and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay,
So you have heard about
I have
this
heard
guy.
of this. I actually just watched a Papa Meat. He's great.
Yeah?
Watch Papa Meat. Yeah, he just did a whole video on this guy. And it's
he?
fucking dope. Yeah, check it out. Yeah, it's,
Oh, cool.
It's super cool.
Well, anything you want to add in, definitely let me know. I just have a couple. I wasn't going to
Continue.
dwell
I
on
just
it
want
for too long.
No, I want you to take the spotlight for a sec. Yeah.
McKamey Manor has attracted significant controversy, criticism, and media scrutiny. In July 2024, its owner, Russ McKamey, was arrested on charges of attempted second-degree murder and domestic assault.
Pretty serious stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty rough, yeah. Like, the tour lasts from 8 to 10 hours, but no guest has ever reached the end. McKamey originally did not allow safe words for the tour, which is just absolutely madness, but has since changed this rule, allowing guests to have the option of ending the tour immediately. The house operates year-round, and there's reportedly a waiting list of over 24,000 people. Boom! That's
supposedly
apparently who are waiting. Yeah. The newest iteration of the tour, a 10-hour experience called Desolation, offers a prize of $20,000 for successful completion. McKamey deducts $500 from the prize for every failed challenge or use of profanity. During the tour, employees of the manor may physically assault patrons, waterboard them, force them to eat and drink unknown substances, have them bound and gagged, and engage in other forms of physical and psychological torture.
What? 24,000 people are signing up for this? Like,
Some sadistic people out there, though. But I mean, at the same time, you know, maybe they're fibbing those numbers a bit.
I think they are.
But I also think that there are quite a lot of like masochistic people.
But he does have a YouTube channel that profiles like he has cameras in those manors. Or
yeah,
it's not
it's kind of for the purpose of making these like fucked up, you know,
YouTube videos.
It's like performance art or whatever the hell you want to call it. Basically, like something as close to a snuff film as you can probably get without killing somebody. It seems very, very like this guy's just fucked up. But yeah, it's like. Where does it say?
yeah, because there's no way that like a guy that runs this is not like super into it.
No
like,
shit.
Yeah.
He's filming it and everything. He's like got it all set up. Like there's a lot of
Probably
effort.
in a dark basement later on editing the videos.
In the backyard.
Like,
100%.
I don't know if you're going to touch on this, but the other thing too is that it's like, how is he funding this? Because he was like an ex-military guy.
They pay to come.
They pay?
People pay to come do this.
Oh, no, I thought the pay was a bag of dog food. for the homeless shelter or for the dog food shelter.
Wow, I don't know. That's crazy.
So like so you have to sign up, you have to wait, but the only payment that they accept is a bag of dog food for the dog shelter.
Oh, right. The donation, right?
A donation, but like
as
there's
somebody who works in vet medicine, like that's cool, but like that's very strange.
But nobody's ever made it to the manor.
No, yeah, exactly. That's
so.
Yeah.
I'll let you continue.
Yeah, it's just participants may also be drugged during their experience. Like, who the fuck signs up for this?
With what?
No shit, that's so fucked. Like, with what? Journalist Tara West has reported that in the communities where the tour is staged, residents question how it remains legal even with the waivers. A volunteer guest testified that the 40-page waiver signed by participants listed such possible risks as having teeth extracted, being tattooed, and having fingernails removed.
Happy birthday!
Like, who signs up for this shit? God damn. According to participant Laura Hertz-Brotherton, on a visit to the manor in 2016, she repeatedly used her safe word for several minutes before employees stopped torturing her. She was later treated at a hospital for extensive injuries. That is fucked up.
And
right there, jail time for anyone?
Does it say in the
Hello?
waiver you have to say it for several minutes straight? Or like, I feel like in a waiver it should be like you say it once, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, so like you were saying, like they didn't have a safe word at first, and then eventually they had to implement a safe word, and then eventually, like in the middle part of this whole,
like this is
worked,
pushing.
And then after a while, they just were like clearly not, and there's so many people going on record being like the safe word did shit.
Yeah, the problem is that it's like some sadistic people that are running this thing, or else you wouldn't be working there. So like, you're not going to, it's like, yeah, we're trying to give these people this nice experience. It's like, you're experiencing it too, man. And whatever fucking demon takes over you when you're doing this is not listening when they say stop.
Yeah.
You know, like that's a big problem there. Like, sure, people sign up for crazy stuff, and I'm not going to kink shame anybody, but at the same time, if you don't stop when someone says stop, you are now doing something very evil.
It becomes
You know?
assault. Like,
that's right.
Like, frankly.
Like, you're now way beyond the line of morality, you know?
And
like,
apparently the people that work there were also ex-people who he found initially signed up for this process.
Of course.
Yeah,
they want to go
it's like
through
one
it.
of those like you have to go through it before working there kind of thing.
They're interested in this crazy stuff, right? Which is fair. You like this extreme, role play or whatever's going on. Like that, there's people in coffins, and there's people like, creepy things crawling out at you, and there's like a whole like haunted house horror element to it as well, which people dig. But then there's just like the straight up like abuse and like physical like. It's not scaring somebody anymore. There's like real danger where they think like, I saw an interview where this guy's like, your mind starts playing tricks on you where like, yeah, I signed this thing, but I don't even know these people. Like, what if they really kill me right now? And like, you know what I mean? Like, so they're pushing it to an extreme, and obviously some people get a thrill out of this. And I think that's like, maybe, I don't know. I don't want to say a sickness, but that's kind of like a little much, but.
And he edits all the videos too, so you don't even. So what you see is just what he left in. All the I imagine what is left out.
Atrocious.
Yeah.
I bet it's just absolutely.
There's this one girl that was
humiliating, and
I saw an interview with. She was like literally had black eyes and her head was shaved, and she was like, and they interview right when you leave, and he's like basically like standing behind you the whole time, trying to make sure that you're saying like, oh yeah, this was a great experience, I had a good time, but it's like you're so delusional at that point that you don't even realize what the fuck you're saying.
Like you'll say anything just for it to end. Like.
Yeah, and you're just like, it's
crazy. What it looks like. It's really what it looks like. Like anybody watching, he's like, yeah, and so you had fun, right? And we stopped right when we told you told us to, right? And they're like, yes. They're all like fucked up. It's like, dude, no.
Yeah.
Like they're drugged. They even say they might be drugged.
And then a few people like weeks later did like a reclaim. They're like, yo, that was so fucked up. I don't recommend anybody do that shit.
Well, of course not. Well, it sounds like what could be a worse time? Like you literally are signing up for the worst time you can have. Like, I mean, yeah, I guess some people are like looking for what is extremist. And so to go to the worst, most extremes you can, but it's like you are signing up to have a very, very, very bad time. Like the worst time you can have.
And you have to pass a rigorous entry, like a fit test.
Yes,
to see if you can even go into.
He said somebody had a heart attack like 7 years ago or whatever in the video I saw. Like,
it's so fucked. So you have to like.
Can you be held accountable? So I guess if you sign like a liability form, like you might not be held accountable.
I watched
unrelated
a YouTuber that like documented the whole process of going to this, and apparently, so there's like 4 houses before you get to the manor, and nobody's ever got to the manor.
Well, that's part of it.
Yeah,
it's,
I'll let you.
it's like McKamey Manor in Summertown, Tennessee, has been the subject of many complaints in Lawrence County. County Commissioner Scott Franks described the incident. An incident where deputies were called to the property after a neighbor saw a woman dragged screaming from a van as part of the experience. Staged or not, this is simply something that none of us want anywhere near us. District Attorney Brent Cooper said the program was legal because people subjected themselves to it voluntarily. Wow, what a great guy that guy must be. Though participants could withdraw their consent at any time according to Tennessee law. Nashville scene journalist Megan Selling has questioned many of the Manor's claims. Here's the thing, there's no 20 grand, she quoted, saying that nobody has completed the tour by design. No one has made it to the supposed Huntsville portion of the show. McKamey knows what will break people, and after stringing them along, he can simply pull out what's needed to shut down the show when it's ready to end. How terrifying is this fucking asshole?
What a jokester. What a little like jokester.
What a menace. What a trickster.
So he apparently, like, where did you hear about the origin stories of how he got on to doing this?
Not really, no. Yeah,
he was working on a naval ship, and apparently he would do like super psychological. So he's a very intelligent man.
Usually these weird mastermind guys
are Dr. Evil.
You don't get something like this together without having some intelligence.
Yeah, and apparently he would, like, on the naval ships, like around Halloween, he would like put on these like really weird psychological, like basically it's like a prank, but he would call it like a horror thing. And like apparently says him, all his shipmates loved it, but he would like do these weird things. He'd get a couple guys, and then he would do these psychological things on other people, on his other shipmates, and they would go through it and be like, wow, that was so trippy. And he'd be like, happy Halloween. And then that's what led to his idea. So after he retired from his military service is when he was like, I'm going to do this full time. And yeah, that's the other thing too, is that grand prize, nobody's ever won it. Nobody's ever got to the manor, and it's bullshit. Like basically anything you do that he says is against the rules, minus his $500 at a time. And it's like 10 hours. Each house is 10 hours. Yeah, so what the fuck are you going to do in 10 hours, 30 hours?
The thing said that it can take up to 8 hours, the experience.
Yeah, for one of it. And there's
places.
Like 3 levels.
Jesus Christ.
Before you get to the manor. And nobody's ever got to the manor, and he basically doesn't let people get to the manor. It's such a fucking big cock. It's definitely a power trip. It's like why people become some people become police officers.
Megalomaniac madness. Yeah, it's some person figuring out how to be some like wicked sadist that we know of, without disappearing and just torturing people for fun.
I made him sign a waiver. Yeah, but they signed a waiver. I can diddle them if I want. It's
God, dude.
Yeah. You fucker. Yeah, but would you do that, Danielle?
No, oh God, no. Yeah, I'm not. Like I'm not great with like horror stuff, honestly.
No.
Like I'll dip my toes in once in a while, but like signing up for something like that just sounds like crazy to me.
No. I literally don't like regular haunted houses.
Me neither, dude.
They jump out at you and shit. I'm like, I want to punch the shadows.
Like a little kid's one, and like it's like a university. Stick your hand in a bowl of eggs, like whatever. Like
it's like
a little creepy, right? But like anything where like I'm potentially gonna get like my head shaved or tattooed, like you're saying, like God. God, no.
What the fuck's your problem, dude?
That's
like that girl you were saying that like left with black eyes and shit. Like, I'm not signing up for that. There's no way.
No, it's so much worse than whatever I'm sure they're showing. Like you say, it's just like terrible. Like at one of the videos, you just hear this horrible screaming, and I'm just like, oh my God, like fuck this, like
actual.
How could you handle that?
Somebody thinks they're dying, probably. Like
And there's one thing that he left in that they're using against him in his court case, and it was like this girl who was like walking to a door, and then like they slammed the door in her face and actually like fucking
broke her nose and shit?
I don't know if it broke her nose, but it fucked her nose up where she left, and her nose was all like fucking red and bent.
God.
And they left that in one of the live streams, or like streams. It's not live, obviously. And like her nose, like basically the whole door just went boom right in her fucking face.
It's very violent and horrific, but
yeah.
Anyway,
so yes, I have heard.
It makes me feel gross.
Yeah.
That
Again,
place.
I don't know how 24,000 people are in line.
I think that's bullshit. Nobody can actually.
Those numbers are inflated. Maybe.
Yeah. Nobody can confirm or deny what the numbers are. That's
maybe
what
there's
saying.
240 or 2,400.
But you can only take 3 people a week to do this. It's something like that, 3 or 4 people a week. So he can easily be like, oh yeah, there's a waiting list
we have this
for
lineup.
15 years because he can't physically go through that many people. So he's just trying to inflate the numbers to make it look like it's a big thing that everybody wants to do. But it's
I'm glad
like
that it
really
got shut
trying to
down.
focus on like torturing those 3 people as much as he can while they're there.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so like I was saying before is that you have to do a rigorous fitness check before you can even do this. And some people can't even do that. And he like calls them out and shit like that. Yeah, it's so fucked. It's
holy moly. Yeah, it's just like a stream of like all of the worst abuse you can have. You're like, how would I like to make somebody have the very worst day of their whole life? And I will do that because they came here and signed up for it and signed a 40-page waiver. It's like, what?
He's
what
like
is wrong
fucking
with you?
jerking off in the back, like hell yeah. Like,
the first the first couple years, like whatever, give those people like, or some of the people some grace. But like after a while, when there's so much documented evidence, you obviously before you sign up, you're going to look at, I mean, you would think an intellectual or even a basic human being would look up what they're getting into.
No, I don't think that it's, the thing is, I don't think anybody doesn't know. I think
they're trying to be tough.
I don't even know if it's that. I think it's like on a kinkier level than that. Like you have to be totally down to almost die.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just too extreme.
Side note, and it's trigger warning. I think there is services that people can hire for people to like come and R-word your wife. I've heard of services like that, like you or R-word yourself. So like you pay them and you don't know when it's happening, but they'll come snatch you up in a van and then fuck you and then throw you away. But you paid for the experience of being R-worded, which is like that level.
There's definitely like arrangements and stuff like that can be, you know.
And on a nicer note, there's apparently one where you can hire a clown to follow somebody and freak. I mean,
oh my God.
nicer.
Thank God you said follow. I was like, the clown to F. I was like, what? Hold up.
To follow
I thought you said a nicer note. To follow me. Boy, is that ever horrific. Also, though, by the way,
so
to
like
follow me.
You can like pay it like the service, which I don't know. I've never actually seen like a video on this topic, but I've just read about this. But like, if you're paying for an individual to do this to somebody else, then that person is an unwilling participant. So I don't get the legality in that. But apparently I've heard of a service that will like, you can pay, they won't touch you or do anything, but they'll just have this one random person be like, yo, this clown's been following me for like the last 2 weeks. And they'll like just be at the most randomest spots.
We're like, yeah, what do you do for a living? Like, oh, I'm a clown follower.
I follow people and scare them for a living. Like,
It pays well. It pays well. I don't have to do much. Great Medicare.
Yeah.
I just have to hide behind a
benefits
hedge.
are busted. Like
Sometimes I get my balloons. I just sort of let one dangle out from a hedge, and then I peer at someone. Squeak my nose.
So fucking weird. All right.
Yeah, humans are absolutely fucking madness. They're just chaos.
And that's what I like to talk about in this podcast. It's not, I mean, I know it's dark and I know it's a trigger warning and stuff like that. And I mean, faint of heart.
I guess just
get it.
what it is, what the bottom line seems to be is that if you can imagine it, someone else already has and enjoys it. Like, so it's already someone's fucking cup of tea out there. No matter how horrific it is, it's somebody's boat.
My life is stressful enough, and I have a pretty decent life. Like, knock on wood. We're doing
for
what
now.
I'm doing. Yeah.
Wait till you see where we got you birthday tickets to.
Oh no! Yeah. It's not McKamey. It's one of those things where it's just like, damn. It's like, how do people have the time to do this shit? Like, and want to do this shit? It's like
the time. I mean, some people have other hobbies. I mean,
guess,
I play in a metal band. Some people like to travel to Tennessee and just get tortured
and just get their head shaved. By force. Yeah. Totally fucked up. Okay, so is there more you want to elaborate on McKamey Manor? Or no?
Definitely not. That was actually too much already. That's really a horrible thing to talk about.
Well, I wish that the next story that we have, it's our last story, is going to be a lighter note.
Crazy.
Or a palate cleanser.
So now we say what? Do we now say trigger warning? Also, like if they made it all the way through this one, but they're going to now have a trigger warning in case it's worse.
It's a true crime.
Okay.
So it's obviously not going to be a happy story, but it's definitely it's a Halloween story.
Okay.
So the title is "What Led to Doreen Elbert's Halloween Death?" ? So the night of October 31st, 1984 began like many other Halloweens before it. It had the small, sleepy city of Swan. Jesus Christ.
Doreen was putting pounds of hairspray into her hair when suddenly, sorry, go on.
So it was in San Jose, California is where this story takes place. An eager young Diana went trick-or-treating with her mother and father, Charles Elbert, before the family returned home to watch a movie and cuddle up on the couch. And then, quote, I just remember children knocking on the door and my mom going and giving candy for the kids. Charles told his wife that he was going, so this is the husband. So it's Charles is the husband, Diane is the kid, and the mother is Doreen. Charles told his wife that he's going to the store and would be back soon, leaving Diana and a pregnant Doreen at the house alone. It wasn't too long after he left when there was a knock on the door. It wasn't a regular knock like a trick-or-treater knock. It was a little more harsh. Scott remembered. Scott is the daughter.
Scott is the daughter?
Yeah, it's Deanna Scott, and it just keeps referring to her as Scott.
Oh, the last name.
Yeah, it's
Right,
the
I was
last
gonna
name.
say,
Yeah.
I thought her name was Diana.
Yeah, it's the last name, yeah. As soon as she opened up the door, I heard her yelling, and my mom told me to hide. So I ran behind the couch and covered myself up. The killer was wearing, so this was a murder. The killer was wearing a pair of mechanic coveralls and a wolf mask.
Whoa.
Yeah, so he was like a mechanic werewolf. After savagely attacking Doreen in the front, the killer searched the house for Deanna, who stayed hidden. He shouted out that if I said anything, he was going to come back. She said he was going to kill me. So basically, he went in, he knocked on the door, butchered the pregnant lady,
Wow.
and then went through the house looking to kill Deanna. But she was hidden and he couldn't find her. And he's like, and he had to get out of there, obviously, because he just murdered somebody. He's like, if you fucking say anything, I'm going to fucking kill you. And then he fucking split.
It's got to be the most terrifying thing for a kid in the world.
Yeah, so the kid was just hiding.
Werewolf man coming and killing your
On Halloween
parent
night. Yep.
On Halloween night, like trauma much? Holy
Yeah.
fuck.
Super fucked.
That is really, really scary.
2 or 3 minutes later, Deanna heard her dad come back home. Charles sent his young daughter to the neighbor's house. By the time the police arrived, Charles, who was covered in blood, was completely uncontrollable and placed into a patrol car. So the dad left,
Yeah. No
right?
shit.
And then he came back and
Clearly.
he found this murder happen.
Right, but he was also covered in blood.
But he was covered in blood. As I looked into the window of the patrol car, I could see he was extremely excited, extremely hyperactive, screaming and yelling something about my wife, my wife, my wife. Jamie, a retired officer with the San Jose Police Department, recalled at some point he was started to try to kick the windows out and was smashing his head against the window, so he's berserk.
Okay.
Charles was immediately considered a person of interest in the case
Yeah,
and
no
taken to a
shit.
police
One would
headquarters.
imagine.
Yeah, so he's like, I'm just going to get a quart of milk. I'll be right back. Have fun with your trick-or-treat movies. And then
Comes
left.
back and puts on a big show of freaking out, smashing his head on the window and shit so people can see him freaking out.
How quote unquote upset he is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inside the suburban home, officers made a grisly discovery. Doreen was flayed open like a gutted deer.
Oh my God.
Her fetus lay on the floor underneath a chair holding a jeering jack-o'-lantern.
No.
I looked at the jack-o'-lantern and smiling over this baby. It was completely out of a horror film. Blood was splattered onto the walls, ceiling, and floor. I remember walking into the house and you could see about an inch of blood over the floor, and I turned to my left and I see a fetus and I said, what the hell happened here? Bert Carlo, a retired San Jose detective, how could anybody do something like that?
This is like really, really heavy.
I know. That's why I was like, sorry, trigger warning.
Good gravy. That's a bad one.
Crime scene investigators also noticed a trail of blood leading away from the home and down the sidewalk, where it led to a catwalk over the freeway and into a nearby neighborhood. Although the officers initially suspected Doreen was killed in a violent domestic incident due to her husband's intoxicated and agitated state, they quickly learned that the neighbors that she had also had troubles with another man in her first husband, Michael Dennis's relationship. So she had a prior husband, an ex, and they didn't end on good terms. Dennis and Doreen shared a son, Paul, but the little boy drowned in an accident behind Doreen's house in 1980 when he was just 4 years old. 2 years later, a distraught Dennis sued Doreen for the unlawful death of their own son, but lost the court case. So the ex, so the ex and Doreen had a kid.
Tried
he
to sue
drowned,
Doreen.
and when he came home, he was so pissed off at her that he lost his son that he tried suing her. So obviously that relationship was done.
Yeah.
After learning of the former couple's troubled past, detectives headed to Dennis's house around 12:20 a.m. on November 1st, so the day after. Basically the same night. The investigators were unnerved when they heard running water in his house and suspected Dennis may be trying to destroy evidence. Yet when Dennis came to the door, he was calm and collected and invited them in to talk. He also agreed to let them do a cursory search of the house, but when he went to sign the papers to give authorities permission, they noticed his right hand had a large gash. So with Michael, so this is a quote, so with Michael is even more agitated over the fact that he's lost his boy, he's lost his lawsuit, he really, really now just purely hates Doreen and her new husband, was one of the cops said. Dennis told the detective he cut his hand earlier that night while carving a pumpkin. Wow, that's
Convenient.
convenient. Yeah, exactly. That's convenient. But the large amount of blood still oozing from the wound had them suspicious. As several of the officers began to search the house, Jamie followed him upstairs to get his identification. Michael starts climbing the stairs and turns and looks over his shoulder, and he looks at me with this lifeless, demonic stare, he said. Jamie pulled out his weapon and continued to follow Dennis up the stairs. Once they reached the bedroom, Dennis seemed to lunge towards the head of the bed. Jamie ordered him to stop and discovered a shoulder holster for a gun on the side of the headboard with a loaded .357 Magnum inside. I figured right off the bat that he's either going to kill himself or shoot it out with us. One of those two, because I know he was going for that gun.
Yeah.
Jamie took charge of the weapon and ordered Dennis back downstairs. Meanwhile, other detectives discovered blood droppings leading to the washer in the garage and blood smears on the handle of Dennis' truck handle, steering wheel, and ignition.
Yikes.
So now we're trying to figure out who killed Doreen Eber. Was it the husband, or was it this guy, or was it the ex?
I feel like it's easier to explain coming home covered in blood on Halloween because of maybe you were actually.
Well, I'm sure he saw his wife on the ground covered in blood and he was like, "Oh fuck," trying to help.
So
Like, yeah, that's kind of what I imagined initially.
He probably, if I saw
Fair enough.
my wife, I'd definitely pick him up.
Of course, but the way you said it, it had me in my head like he came home covered in blood.
No, sorry. That's
Like,
no, I understand what you're saying.
It was weird. It was like
he
left and then went to get a quart of milk and then came back in a werewolf suit or whatever. And then left and came back covered in blood. Like, oh my god, what happened? So I understand now.
So, but that's
the
where
police just saw him covered in blood. That's of course
exactly.
Yeah,
The initial story looks like it was just circumstance,
right?
But it looks like he was initially like, I'm just gonna leave and I'm gonna come back. But the only people that saw him covered in blood was the police, which was well after the police were there.
And yeah, I would definitely if I saw my husband on the ground bleeding.
You would grab them, yeah.
I would grab them before I called the police. So I would end up covered in blood too. So I could see that.
Also,
the
way that she was found, for that guy to have found her that way.
Yeah.
With the jack-o'-lantern and everything, something so fucking evil has happened, plus the baby, you would go fucking mad.
And he was literally going crazy.
You would. That's just a nightmare.
Seems
you don't even know what would happen.
Frankly.
Yeah. Hearing how it looked, that's a pretty reasonable response.
Totally. So, who killed Doreen Herbert? Authorities were able to clear Charles after finding a store employee who remembered him at the store the night of his wife's death. Video footage also placed him at the store.
Oh, yeah.
In order to charge Dennis, so the ex-husband, with the crime, however, they needed more evidence. Using a black book Dennis had on him at the time of the arrest, Carol reached out to his friends and romantic interests and found a woman who said she had been to a Halloween party with Dennis the year before when he went as the big bad wolf.
Yep.
Ooh.
Michael dressed up in this hideous costume, attacked his ex-wife, and butchered her on Halloween night. Disemboweled the fetus, then he was looking to find Diana in order to kill her, Jamie said, the cop. Dennis was officially charged with the murder of Doreen and her unborn child just days after the brutal slaying. 4 years later, the case would head to court. After prosecutors laid out their case, Dennis changed the plea to not guilty by reason of insanity.
Right.
Of course.
Yeah.
As people would, yeah.
They always do that shit. It's
Yeah.
no, I was insane. But,
he is.
Yeah, for sure.
Look at what he did, but fuck, doesn't mean that he should have any reduced sentence. It seems like he meant it and liked it.
But that's also one of those things that once you've actually calmed down after even a couple days, you're just fuck, now I'm gonna spend the rest of my life in jail.
Well, why wouldn't you?
What am I gonna do but plead
you're
insanity?
only and there's so much evidence mounted against me.
You're certainly not worried about lying. You just killed somebody.
It's not even about I didn't do it at that point. It's about
how do I
cover my butt.
Yeah,
about
exactly.
It,
exactly.
How to get the reduced sentence or whatever.
His attorneys argued that he had been driven mad by the loss of his son and was triggered on Halloween night as he watched other children happily head out to trick or treat.
Oh my god. Maybe true, but no excuse.
Yeah, no excuse, exactly. A jury wouldn't buy the defense, and Dennis was convicted of first-degree murder of Doreen's death and second-degree murder of the death of the fetus. He received the death penalty, but when the state of California later overturned the death penalty, his sentence was converted to life in prison. In the years since the brutal slaying, Deanna has tried to understand her mom's death and even taken back the Halloween holiday to try and regain control of her own life.
God.
And the last thing is, I can understand, this is a quote from her.
Poor person.
I can understand him losing a child. I get that. But you took something from me too. You took something big. You took my mom. You destroyed our family, and I won't forget that. But I do forgive him for it because for my own sanity, I need to forgive him. I don't want to be angry anymore.
That's
fair enough. That
really
is
good on her, but
a path
I don't
to
know
growth,
if I would have
but-
those same feelings if somebody brutally murdered my mother and then unborn brother.
No, I would just only want that guy to be ashes.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want anything else.
I don't think I would have maybe
easy.
she's a bigger
Yeah,
person
that's
than
true.
I am, but I don't think I could forgive and act like that.
No, I just hope that he's having a miserable time in jail forever.
I honestly think life in prison is worse than the death penalty.
Yeah,
I kind of
probably.
agree.
It's just you're basically wasting away.
Yeah.
You're like a fish that's just like dying in a pond. Like,
Well, I mean, what do you do, right? It's you, morality or not, it's like, what are we supposed to do with you? As a society, what do we do with you? Like, do we let you do this again? Well, certainly not. Right? The obvious thing in nature would be to just delete you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, okay, well, there's something with legality and lawyers and blah, blah, blah. Well, then you can sit there and rot forever then. Fuck you.
Like,
kind of thing, Like, it's really, really, I mean, that's the last person that you get to have sympathy for.
100%.
Like, I know that things happen and traumas happen to everybody, and that's what,
and like people make mistakes and stuff, but like.
No, exactly. He didn't make any mistakes there.
It's more than a mistake at that point, especially if it was considered first degree murder. It was obviously like thought of beforehand.
Of course, super premeditated, and also just think of what he did to that daughter, like, and tried to kill her too.
Yeah.
Like, just a monster, complete
not only
monster.
are you taking like a life, but also an unborn life, and then affecting the life of like a small child. At
Exactly.
The time.
So there's some really cool and nice and kind and awesome people out there in the world, guys.
Yeah,
it's great.
yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
We like to shed a light on.
We went to a dark place today.
But hey, look at Paul
Welcome,
bought a card.
Danielle.
Yeah, welcome Danielle to the These Are My Friends.
Yeah.
But, I hope you enjoyed your experience
Where we make
here.
silly,
I sure did.
insensitive jokes about the most horrific shit known to man.
I like start it super light, I tee it up, and then boom, yeah,
Boom.
drop a sack of hammers
handheld
on your head.
kids.
Yeah.
Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning.
Yeah, we have to say it
Trigger
13
warning.
times. Yeah.
Our podcast is just going to be called Trigger Warning
Yeah,
soon.
it should. Yeah, that's
I mean, it could be.
It could be. Yeah, we could have another one, or we could just like keep the These Are My Friends light, and then have the Trigger Warning podcast.
We have 9. We need to have 9 podcasts, dude.
Does a podcast in the woods could be creepy as like.
Does it? Yeah, does a
It
podcast-
usually is.
Yeah, it is pretty dark.
It's usually dark as hell. Yeah, I want to do this one in this beautiful garden. I think next time we should do the garden. We'll do Does a Podcast in the Garden out here.
Love it. Yeah,
Sounds good.
It's hilarious. Like one of my a friend, she's like a follower, was like talking, and she's like, "You and Dan just went into the forest and started talking about evil cults." I'm like, "Yeah, I guess that's what we did do." She's like, you guys are psychotic.
Don't reduce what we do.
But I was like, "Yo, that's dope as fuck," and we definitely did do that.
We did, and we
That's
do, and we
hilarious.
will again.
And
Yeah.
we will again. Yes. Yeah. If you reduce it down to that, but it takes a special pair, to go and do that. Yeah. It's a fun time. It's a fun
Takes a
Thursday.
sturdy pair.
Damn right. All right. Is there anything you want to wrap up with this?
Well, I wish I had something more like, lighthearted. I mean, I can't wait to go get some ribs, though.
Yeah, hell yeah. And Danielle?
The Festival of Ribs.
I don't know, ribs sounds pretty good too, but
Oh, damn. Let's do it. Let's go.
We're making chicken tonight.
God damn
yeah,
it.
we did take out chicken, but
Yeah,
rib
so
fest
that's
is
the
fun
law.
too.
You have to have chicken now because
I
you
have
took
to
it out.
have it, yeah.
Just seems
guys-
kind of
we
not.
took it out.
I don't want to say
Jerry.
the word sacrilegious again. But like,
Sacrilegious. Ooh.
Sacrilegious, bro. These fucking ribs are going to be sacrilegious.
Depending on where you're coming from. But
the
anything you want
ribs
to...
of people.
Yeah, oh, God. Yeah.
All right.
One more dark story.
You sign a waiver, you get to donate your ribs to Ribfest.
And then eat them. Yeah. And you pay $1,000.
That's vile.
Yeah. Gross.
It's terrible.
That's why I got sick last time. Anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, fair.
Danielle, we want you to say one more last thing. Is there anything you want to say?
No, just that I was super happy to be a part of this podcast. I'm glad to have found somebody who has such a cool passion in their life.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, all that
I am
cheesy
cool.
shit. All that
Oh.
cheesy shit.
Cut it. Turn it off. Turn it off.
Cut it now. Cut
I'm
it
outta
now.
here.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Dan's got to go. Okay.
gotta go.
Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Ribs are calling.
Ribs are calling. These are my friends.
These are my. Love you. Bye.
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 So funny.
They're like, I'm totally into this shit. It's just not very sexy. That's what she said.
It's not, I mean,
really not sexy in the slightest. It's like probably the grossest thing ever.